Circle line interference position location centers. I just got digital frame numbers from the sun rotation line connections. I know the sun and all space alignments. Understand radiation cycles and how it connects to all waving systems. This is extremely powerful because that was just given to me just now. So I not only feel fantastic, I just feel so bound with so much communications of energy. The radiation line connection is opening up all line connections to my barometers and my frequency line connections. I understand the computers to its position of time location, how it's connected to the space anomalies. It's amazing how we did that. I did a very powerful video on TikTok where everything is in that position right now. Okay, so I went into the eye central connections of the sun. The sun went through me through perception yesterday, and it gave me codes. It's amazing how the sun can actually give you digital codes, which is incredible. Calculation modifications. So it's having like keys to the universe. Right now I have keys to the sun. This is really fascinating. We're coming to this position line connections. So we open up track line connections into 70,000 plateau positions in the moon graphing line system. So I have keys to the universe. Now I have keys to the sun positions in rotation through its radiation line connection, which is really, really, really powerful. Okay. Radiation heat signature line connections, rotation positions to barometer line systems, allocated positions to the brain line system, allocated positions to the heart cycles. So I got communications to its reactor of the sun. In position line connections open up all tractions of digital frame positions. Okay. So it's amazing how we come into this, right? So it's kind of like, wow, this is so powerful. I mean, so powerful, so powerful. It's amazing how you come into that track line connection. You have to understand what the sun is in a digital line system to allocated positions. Remember, we're going to the universe of the graph, how everything is back in location center to its position location. Now we're coming into high positions, but now I have the keys to the sunline system. Okay, all trap locations to the moon location centers is in basically, like I said, 70,000 plateau line centers. Okay, into 1,000,000,000,000 system. It's allocated positions of location centers, which is really fascinating stuff, how it's allocated positions, how you control the sun, how you control the radiation of the sun, how you control the time frames of the sun. And this is what I can do now. I have the keys to the sun. So as we come into that position location, it's amazing how we come into that track line connections. So things are going to get really, really exciting now, I'll tell you. And you guys will feel that. Rebellion Alliance and everybody in my GFLs and everybody that's in my Galactic Force team position location. It's amazing how we come into this time positions. Okay. So it's a controlling system that can't be stopped, especially when you're all reflections to all divisions of all universal planet line connections. It's amazing how we come into these positions. This was just given to me now. Okay. From Father. So now it's in the eye circle line center. Okay. So basically it's knowing what you're doing. Right? It's very powerful when you come to these program settings, especially when you come into your own computers. So it line channels and it goes into off dispositions and a force rises its cycle into location of balance, right? So everything that comes at you backfires, it disappears. So it's a flame. So anything that comes at me just disintegrates. It destroys itself. So you have to understand what the sun is through radiation. You have to understand what it is through coloration. You have to understand through the hologram line connections. You have to understand the graphing positions of space location, of time position, gravity lock line centers, or anything the power positions, and everything to the soul of graduation line system. Very powerful when we come into those positions of time location. It's amazing how it comes into these forces, right? So it's all about understanding how everything is reflected in your energy fields. Remember, it's all about protection and light connections. Well, we got all reflections to all universal line system, to all time zone positions to the sun. The sun, it radiates in all levels, right, through our body, right? So we got I recycle line connections to all digital numbers in its position to my body framing system. So thank you very much. Congratulations to me. So it's amazing how we come into these positions of time, right? So anything that's thrown at me disintegrates into the atmosphere positions of time. It fluctuates and destroys. Everything that comes at me now destroys itself. So it's amazing how we come into this position. So it's incredible. It's incredible force. You know, it's a program Standing to the Moon. How I started off with the Cosmic Records, and I went into high position line connections, into the gods, went into the demigods, and I went into all my geometry line connections. We come into GOD, GOHHD, GOHHHDD. So it's all about understanding your communication program line centers. Everybody can reach that position locations, right? So when you come up to a high level, you can't be touched. You can't be touched in any way and form. It's amazing when you come into that position, right? I start off with the birthing line conditions of the sun, and everything through the programs of the moon, and everything through position navigation to my thought position line connections. Understanding this saucer rotation line center is in its proactive system of its present line connections, right? So it's amazing how energy transfers and it fluctuates to all line connections. So it bounds on so many levels, right? So when somebody sends something to you, you can send it back extremely fast. But see, the thing is, it goes into your body line connections to anything position location. But anything that comes back at me disintegrates in the atmosphere. So it's amazing how we do these things through radiation and reflection. Okay. So test today. So basically, I think we're good there. Hope you guys are doing well. So I got the test review and evaluations. Questions or comments? I'm going to go on TikTok Live. You might want to get into my healing. Let me know. Here's the main things I could do right now. So let's see here. Let's get into calculation modifications, circle line centers. Let's get into the proactive system for calculation modifications. Let's get into the drawings, shall we? Now, all these drawings are set up through the test review and evaluation. Okay. So I'm going to show the graph line connections. This is Sylvia. Okay. So it's kind of like a baseball diamond. It's got 3 line connections to position. Okay. And she's basically got herself in rotations to its angel line center. And it's got its graphing, okay, the mountain interference. Okay. So she's got the ground line connections. Okay, it's in position. There's a lot of drawings here, so I'm going as fast as I can. Communications raw, everything that position, rendezvous. So she's traveling through that baseball diamond line connections, energy and its stream position location. And it also has its connection to its haven and its energy field rotation line connections. And it has its all back force line connection to its position location to its high positions. It starts off with high levels into the chakra system. Okay. So there you go. That's from Sylvia. Okay. It's better that I do it that way than rather just show you, because it's all about understanding what's going on with her travel connections, her diamond core line center, and everything through her angels and everything, their chakra line connections. See, so she understands her travels. So you don't need 6 or 7 drawings. It's fantastic when you see these things, position line connections. Okay, then we come into Tina with so much solar text line connections. So basically, she goes into high positions of dimensional time. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. 12 line connection positions, 10 equals box /L. Okay, 12 position line connections. She's got the box frequency level, 369 line connections. And then she changed the digital numbers to its line connection position location. Okay. So, I mean, she's done a lot here. So I'm just going briefly here. Okay, so we got 3 line connections, and we got force reds and line connection 369. This is in the flux capacitor line connections, and it's going into rotation line center, which is obsolete to its line position, but it's back in the balance location center line system at 369 location. Okay. So basically, she's got the 4 waving diamond line connections. Okay. Now she's got the 3-4 positions. There are 3 in activation line connections, 4 within a high position location. She's got 3-point line centers in the circle rotation line connections into traction. See how fast I'm doing this? Because now I'm the sun. I am the sun. It's fantastic. Okay, so the flux capacitor got 3 cylinder rotation line connections into positions. Okay, so she's got the ground, she's got the levels equals everything through calculation, its rotation to its equal box to its S rotation line center. Okay, she's got a lot of solar graph line connection. Okay, so she's got graph line connections to its box frequency level 369, but she's got the 2-digit line connections of 3, 2, 6, 4, and 3 /0, 0 within 0 gravity line system in position when it comes in trial line connection. Right? So I'm doing this extremely fast, guys, because Tina's in position right now where she's done a lot of drawings. Okay, so now she comes in the body graphing line connections due to its position, changing triangle line connections into all number frequency line system of digital framing. Okay. All right, so we come to that position. Now we come into the calculation modifications of the universal graph line system. Okay, to its position. All right. So, like I said, she's got a lot of drawings here. Okay, so she's got 3 rotation line connections. She got her trifactor line positions. Okay, she got a fluctuation in interference. She's got her E fields and her ground positions. They're at their positions of time location. This is all sonar, and this is the XT1000 line system. Getting its calculation laser recognition line system. Okay, you notice how fast I'm going through positions, right? So when you become the sun through the eye circle line connections, and you have the digital number of its program, this is what you can do through fast when you cycle line connection. All right, so she's got clocking location, baseball diamond position line system. I say both baseball diamond because I used to play baseball. But she's got the flux capacitor, and she's changing rotation line connections to her 369, and her barometers is changing back line connections to her triangle over structure line connection in its division. Okay, from here to here, here to here. See that? This is all solar text. This is Tina. It's amazing how she comes in that position location. All right, so she's got track line connections, dimensional time positions. She's got 3, 6, and 9 in that line system. Okay, so basically the ground formation line connections and clocking interference. Okay, so it's really understand what you're doing through structural line connections. It's really fascinating. Okay, so basically, she's got her own solar generator light system. So it's basically, it's kind of like a windmill position line connections. It's backtrack line connections back into 3.3, comes into high levels of 6.6 and 9.9. So 3 within the line center, 3 within the activation, 6 within the program line connection, 6 with the active line system, 9 within its location, 9 within center line system into its position of security line defense. Okay. And this is all Tina. It's unbelievable what's going on here. Okay, and basically she's got 2 graph line connections, dimensional time position, to a circle rotation center connections, which goes into triangle line connections. Okay, it's really fast how we see these things, right? Everything's in chronological order, and she's got this solar graphing text at the bottom position, right? So, all right, I make high position line systems when we come into Galactica and connections. Now she's got her center line connection, the center rotation line system. I'm trying to get this position here. She's got the sun rotation line connection. She's got the moon graph line system. She's got 2 secure line defense and the circular line connections. She's got the earth line center, and it's got in a rotation position of its rotation of its dimensional line system. Okay. Playing topsy-turvy with me here. All right. See how she's in the center? See how she line signals everything? See the diamond core position in the center position? It's pretty powerful when we see these things. All right, right there, right? See that? Pretty powerful stuff, right? So she's got her connection to her illustration diagram line system. Congrats, everybody. Fantastic stuff. You guys are doing exceptionally well. So all those positions can activate everything. So we got in that position line centers. All right, so let's get into solar graphing line connection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the sun rotation line system. I'm going to allocate your positions of time location. All right, and you're going to have new digital framing number systems. This will put you in 114 centers. All right, so the computer operations line center of the sun position, okay, is all the positions and some high levels of digital frame numbers. So the actual sun is nothing but a computer operation digital to a perception of TV line connections to all computer line systems. That's what the sun is, right? So when you become the sun, this is what you can do. All right. All right, so we're going to that connections. This is the sun. Okay, it's a high computer. All right. It's nothing but a computer. All right, it rotates its line system to its occupation of time location. All right, so there's the sun. So it's a computer. It is. That's all it is. Line signal track line connections. Okay, so we got Tina. Okay, so we got the sun. 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 Okay, so we got the Okay. In that position. Now the sun's going on line connections right here in that position. Rotation cycle to its location center positions. Back in location center. Into its division. We're going to go into illumination light systems here. Tina, Galactica, Sylvia. Okay. And high position level systems to allocate positions when we come into high force line system. Now Dina is not here. Okay. So we got Tina, Galactica, and Sylvia. Okay. And also got Ellen too. Now Ellen is in line center. She's in position. Okay, in allocate position, time, location. So I'm just going to wait through that fraction line conditions. So we got Sylvia, we got Tina, and we got Galactica. Okay, and everything through Ellen. I'm going to go through my email line system here. I'll just show you what Ellen can do through digital framing. It's amazing what she does. Let's see if I just get through it, because she basically comes to me every day, right? And she does all these drawings, right? So it's pretty powerful stuff. Like, she's extremely advanced. All right. You start with this, the Sky Force line system. It's allocated positions of, look at the point line connections there. You see the graph line system? It's allocation, time, location. So her position, northwest, south, and east, is pretty powerful stuff. Okay, and then she comes into this position. Okay, when it's calculated through the butterfly of its operation line center. Okay, see the wind factor line connections, see the digital realm of the location centers, 369, everything through the flux capacitor, guys. Right, this is coming from Ellen. She sends me pictures every day. You guys can do that too, so you want to high rise your position. So we're going to high rise an online system to 114. But congrats, guys, on all your positions. Okay, about understanding anything through Priscilla or anything through Dina. Anybody else want to go in that high line center? Let me know. So computer operation line center is operating position location centers. It's going to activate everybody's line connections. Okay, it's energies rotation line centers, point line center, position location. Here we go through traction. Okay, so we're in line signal rotation line connections into position. Okay, so this is all coming from the sun locations of Tina, Galactica, Celia, and everything through Ellen. Now, rotation line connections are operating all level systems. Okay, take traction of 110 and add 4 more line connections. Put there 114 light connections, interference, position, location, center line system. There we go. Okay, high rise position back to the computer line system. Operate on line condition position locations in their DNA structure line connection positions to the sun rotation line system. DNA structure line equals slash the sun equals box into rotation. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4 in rotation center. Okay, equals 114. There you go. Right? All into 114 chakra location centers to positions to sun rotation and program sending to the moon position location center. Congratulations. It's all done. See how quick that was? It's much easier when you're in the sun. So when you get into perception high position line centers, you'll be able to send in calculation. So everybody that's healed right now to 114 chakras can now really basically heal themselves a lot quicker and faster. It's knowing how to use the body chakra line connections. Well, like I said yesterday, when I got the perception of the sun interference, they sent me digital numbers to the sun, the actual sun, a new digital program. Okay, that's what the sun's coming into, right? That was just given to me now. This high rise, it's amazing how we come into this line system. Allocated position, time, location. Very powerful how we come into different pictures, right? Through Tina, Sylvia, Galactica, and Ellen. It's amazing how we do these things, right? It's important you understand how to do your illustration diagrams and how to travel through 369 light connections, right? So congratulations, guys. You're in 114 chakras. You got full communication with lights now. So your chart mind connection is going to come into digital frame of numbers. So everything that you see through perception, anything through trees and cars, anything like that, is going to come at you through number frame. So you have to use that through the barometer line connections and try to understand its communication signals. It comes into more computer operation line connections. So the next thing that you guys have to understand is you have to come into the applications of your DNA. Your blueprints and your contracts is next. Okay? So we're going to go through one central line connections into 650 applications on how to read your blue contracts. This is all connected to your accelerations and your timers. Okay? So it's all about understanding how to read your pyramid. It's all about understanding how to read the hieroglyphics. It's all about understanding how to read E equals MC squared into high positions of digital frame position locations. All right? So, but congrats. There you go. Okay, 114. So, happy dance. Bum, 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 bum. So, how's everybody feeling now? Powerful stuff. Let's get back in your questions here. Tina, Sylvia, Tina, Sylvia, Tina. Yeah, Line Gates portal, yeah. That's coming around fast, yeah. So exciting. Yeah, I did. Good morning, all amazing people. Yay! Sylvia has gone. Tina has gone. I'm so inspired by you. Thank you very much, Jill. My emails. Yeah. I mean, you have so much chronological information there, Tina. It's amazing how you go through so many pages, because in the past reference with your positions, when you're giving me test reviews and evaluations, it's very, very small text. And that's the way she is. That's how she is through intelligence, right? So she can get everything into one graph line center. But her illustrations are amazing. Same with Sylvan, same with Galactic, same with Alan. Just showing you how you go to those positions of time location. So, yeah. All supposed to be all equally amazing. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Communicating, Tina, Tech Geek. Yeah. Well done. Morning. Samantha, how's it going? Samantha, congrats, you guys. Yeah. Yeah, it's very big for them. It's very big for them because they got the full generation lights now. Full generation lights to their body. Okay, it's activated. Now they got to work on their pixel line connections to the hologram positions and the barometers to its position and its digital frame to Vega. Plus, they got to get into 650 applications into high levels of their contracts. Okay, it's going to all about coming into the atoms, right? Because you have to understand how to use your operation line centers to your body because they have trains and cells, right? So, and this is where you come into high positions of calculation. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can fix that. Yeah. Tina has been having internet issues a lot. Yeah. Well, I can change that now because I'm the sun. I have the digital numbers of the sun. So it's really powerful stuff. And it's all about understanding what everything is in position location, right? So it's knowing how to use the sun and how to reflect it, or how to, so it's kind of like everything that comes at me just disappears very quick, very fast. Just give it to me now, right? So remember, I have to be at a certain level to do all these things. To put everything back in order, everything is going to get tougher and tougher and tougher and tougher for everybody else to understand that communications. So when Tina was in that position, she felt that line signal when she's coming in stomach lines, and she felt nausea and sick and all that. That means that there's something wrong with the glitch. That means there's something wrong with her. That means there's something wrong that's going on, because she's very well aware with her nature and her space and her time and position, location, activation, and a portal line center, right? But it's knowing how to do these things. You got 114 chakras. That's great. Now you got to work into the atom. Okay. This is a whole new process for the Brilliant Lines. But congrats, guys. You're 114 now. So, anybody else want to know? Let me know. ¿Cómo estás, Commander? Hola, William. So, yeah, it does pay off. It does pay off. Yes, it does. Yeah. And that's what you want to understand is that when you get into that location, right? I had to do it extremely fast, right? Because plus Tina has like 6 or 7, illustrations. I mean, okay, what's next? But it's powerful how we come into these times, guys. All right. So you come into that location. All right. So it's amazing how the more they understand, because they're in full light communication right now, full light communication. Now they got to get more understanding how to use the hologram of space and time of travel. So it's all about separating the shapes and more into division going by themselves, travel by themselves through light. So they can go to higher level connections, right? Interline connections to higher intelligence, right? So the more you get into light, the more you understand everything through perception, right? So now they're coming into digital numbers, right? Through Vega. So everything that they see, anything through this, anything through pad, anything computer, anything through wall, they're going to interline connections to digital numbers, and they can understand what's coming back. To communicate with their circuitry light, they have to know exactly what the numbers mean, right? It's all connected to your body graph. It's all connected to your meditation and graph line system. So it's really interesting coming these time positions, guys. It really is. It's fascinating. So does anybody have any questions on that? Stephanie, how's it going? I know. Grand Rising. Yes, I know. Beautiful souls. I'll be going on TikTok live after this. So, it's exciting, isn't it? Yeah. So the Rebellion Alliance Force team just got their 114 chakras. So, all right, we got through all the questions here. So the first thing you look at is having the keys to the universe, right? Understand energy, frequency, and vibrations through 369, right? So it's all about understanding the conception of the mind, the body, okay, and the soul, okay? We already know these things, right? So 3 is its position as location center. Okay, I'm going to track my connections here. Let's go into illumination, mark division location. So 3 is in position, okay, to the mind, and that's the connections, right, to the generation light system. 3 is the mind, right? That's the connections to the sun. Okay. And yes, 6 is what? 6 is equal to the body. Okay. Everything's through the body, a program setting. So 6 is its positions to the moon. Okay. And what is 9? Mind, body, it's the location. It's the soul, identifications to its computer operation line center. 9 is location. Okay? Its location to its soul. All right. It's really interesting to see these things at time location. The soul. Okay? 3 is the mind to the sun. 6 is the body to the moon. And 9 is location to the soul. All right? So these are the things you have to look at. Well, that's the keys of the universe. Right? No, it's knowing how to operate the mind through 3. So you have to understand when you open up the crown chakra, what do you have? You have the keys of the sun, right? What happens when you have the keys of the moon? That's 6. What happens when you have keys of its location? That's the soul, right? 9, 3, 6, and 9, right? So now I have all keys to 3, 6, and 9. All keys, right? So that's really understanding how to do these things in positions of time location, right? And this is a level that I have to reach, which is really fascinating. Okay. And that's why you have to understand what 3, 6, 9 to all location is. All right. Because it helps you and always informs through the mind system. Okay. Mind, body, and soul. Okay. Which is point center of 3, point center of 6, point center of 9. All right. So once you get in that position, what happens next? Oh, what do we got here? Flux capacitor. Yay! There you go. And then you got Orion's belt. All right. Orion's belt. Look at that. There it is. People. That's how it's activated. Everything's activated that position line connection. So Orion's belt to its present line center. Okay. Everything through the mind of the sun and everything through the body. Okay, to the program line connections and everything through location of the soul. See how it activates through the flux capacitors? The flux capacitors joint through Orion's belt, which is what? The constellation. The constellation path, the existence of its grounds, the power center, and its atmospheres of time, which comes into its heat fields of all rotation center of its connections. And yes, you are in the center position to all levels of dimensions of time. All right. Now you've probably seen the wheel where the guy's like this. Well, that's exactly what it is. Now you understand that, right? All right, go into this waving system. It's incredible force when you see these position location centers. And it comes into this position location, into your tetrahedrons. Yes. And there you go. Ground formation's inside it to its location center position. It's amazing how we come into that line center. See how powerful that is? That's how it's all connected to the mind, body, and soul, people. All through the constellation path of Orion's belt. So now you know what the flux capacitor is, right? Flux capacitor connected to Orion's belt. Constellation path, right? So it's amazing how we see these things. Track line connections everything through 3, 6, and 9. 3 of the mind, 6 of the body, and 9 of location to the soul. Okay, 6 to the moon. Okay, and everything through 3 of the sun. Mind, body, and soul. So what do you think of that? Powerful, right? So that's why it's understanding, you understand more of yourself in the upgrading line center to all positions of time location. Right? So huge upgrade for Tina. So she can be finally happy now. She's in 114 positions of dimension. And she can travel faster now because she's got all of her light. Now she just has to understand how to use the atoms inside her body. She'll understand that more because it's all about coming into that graphing of the compilation. So when she's in traction, she's going to understand more of realm locations of everything through box level system of time position. Okay, which is really, really fascinating. So when you come into that position, you come into a box level connection of this line center. It's really interesting. We see these things, guys. All right, let's go into illumination, arc line connections. So 1 box frequency level system. Okay. Now, Tina's going to travel through that position. But remember, everything is inside. So it's all about, they're in the 114, so they're going to understand more how to communicate inside rather than seeing what's outside. And that's where it comes in everything through box level. So we got a box rotation line connections. Okay. We got 3 waving line position locations. We got back force line connections into a point line center. Okay. Now in position, we're going into track line connections, circle rotation, 2 and atom rotation line connections, 4 waving cycle to its position location, to its line connections, 2, 3, 6, and 9 to its location, to its line center, to its point system, take a dimensional of its realm to secure line defense at its position to its equation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 dimensions of time location. Okay. See how everything is done inside the box. So Tina's going to become more aware of what's going in. So she's compilating everything inside through one line system. One box brings 3 line connections into weather line system. Now they're all coming into weather of transformation, how to communicate with weather through atmospheres of space and time now. All right. 2, calculation to its dimensional realm. 2, its security line defense. See how everything is in position? That's how everything's allocated. Right? So it's amazing how you do these things, the one track line connections, right? So it's not like this. It's not like this. I was just showing you through frame, but understand everything that is inside you is the body connection to space positions. So it's not like this anymore. Okay, it's not like this with Tina. Okay, it's not like this with Tina anymore. Okay, it's not like that. Okay, it's all in one box. So she's going to truly understand how to contemplate everything inside, everything outside, and tell what it is in all detail, right? Rather than looking at this and trying to figure out what it is. So it's all about understanding. You start with this, and then you put it in a box, which is one compilation to everything. Was it everything inside? And then she's going to realize simultaneously she's going to be traveling all over the place into one position. Same with Sylvia, Galactica, and everything through Ellen. Okay? And this is what you can do. It's all about going faster and faster through dimensional time to understand the connections of 3, 6, and 9. Okay, what you can do through the mind. Okay, what you can do through 6, and what you can do through 9, the soul. So that's the birthing line connections to its system, getting everything through the universal line system. Okay, 3, 6, and 9. You get into those proactive cycle connections, then you start drawing things extremely high rise in position to this. All right. So you get into those connections, she's going to understand that this is 28,000 grand line centers, so triangle line connections to round locations of security line defense of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. It's amazing how you come into these positions through AI, right? So that's why it's important to understand to get into these things of 3, 6, and 9. Why it's so consumed on so much knowledge through E = MC squared. TV reception to computer, right? It's all about high rise. It's all about the energy and what you do with it. What you do with the energy of form, of position, right? What you do with the energy, okay? What you do with its equal, the equation, what you do with the maths, what you do with the calculation, and what you do with your box. Your box is your graph. Your box is your compilation. Okay, it's everything that's inside its position of its location. Inside. And that's how we identify everything. Because you see too much of outside, but you don't see what's inside. And that's how you read everything. So when she comes across these things, she'll know and understand how to use their illustrations. Program setting, position, location, right? So you go from the circle rotation, you go through line signal, you go across reference line connections, you go into this kind of position location. You start off with that line system, right? Now you can go to security line defense line system and security line defense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so those are 10 locations, right? In dimensional time. So she can back force line connections, because it's all about understanding. Once you get to 114, you come into higher location of your clocking locations of dimensional time. So that comes into higher force positions, into security line defense, right? So that overlaps the positions into higher division location to its dimension of time. So we start with this, and we go inside, right? So that circle rotates its position location to its dimension of time. Okay. Pretty powerful when you come to higher levels of 114, right? So it clocks its location to its position of its diamond core, right? And it changes the shapes anomalies to its activation line connections, right? when you come into high positions of higher levels of triangles, this is what you can do through dimensional time. It's amazing how we go through 3, 6, and 9. Through the mind, body, and soul. Okay? So, powerful, isn't it? It's incredible force. Anybody have any questions on that? Trying to understand how powerful you are in all positions of time, location, knowing that you can get what you want, and it all starts with E equals MC squared. So, yeah. And see, the thing is too, when you go more into illustrations and diagrams, you understand how to calculate and modify your distances, right? It's all about the mass, the calculation, and the volume. So when you see things through perception, you're going to see things inside. And that's where you have to go into the eloquent position of knowing that, okay, this is way too much energy. I can't have it. It's too much. So basically, if you want to communicate with a car that's extremely more than you through weight mass, you have to be cautious because you can communicate with the outside when it goes into this dimensional realm. But if you bring it inside, it's going to change your fluctuation patterns and it's going to change your dimensional time, right? So it's amazing how we communicate inside, right? So we can travel to anything through shapes and anomalies and change its direction. Change its direction to higher division locations of security line defense. So this is an extremely, extremely powerful wormhole, right? And it's all connected to our body graph line connections. To the mind, body, and soul. Okay? So if you have any questions on that, now's the time, right? It's amazing when you come into these levels. Happy dance, yep. So that just leaves Dina and Priscilla. All right, whenever you guys feel like you want to hand in your illustrations, great, let me know. But it's important that you understand what you're doing through your travels. That's what we have to understand through each other, right? So, anybody have any questions on that? Any questions? So we've come a long way. We have definitely come a long way. And it's really powerful when we see these things, you know? It's incredible force. So, yeah. So the actual sun in its digital frame is saying congrats to the Rebellion Alliance. So now I have full communications, right? Full communications to the keys of the sun and its digital numbers. And when you understand what numbers are, you understand all positions of what the mind is and what it wants to do through calculation, and what the body wants through activation of program, and what the soul needs through identification. Okay? So, but it's great to see everybody. Everybody's looking well. It's nice. It's nice to see these things, guys. Yeah. Yeah, everybody's doing really, really well. And that's what we want. We want everybody to understand, you know, you come into tougher times, but things get a lot more easier when you understand more how to understand your positions of what's going on through your body, okay? And what's going on with the soul and what's going on with the mind. What is the mind doing today? What is the body doing tomorrow? What is the soul doing the next day? No, the mind, body, and soul have to be in one position, which is its presence. You can't have the mind in one center and have the body in the back center and have the soul in a straight line connection. Everything, the mind, body, and soul has to be in line signal of 3, 6, and 9 to its position. So you're confusing the sun, you're confusing the programs of the moon, and you're confusing your thoughts of space and time. So, yeah. I'm still processing that I made it this far. Yeah. But Sylvie, you'll catch on more and more. And it's the illustration. It's not that you have to draw 6 or 7 diagrams. It's just knowing what you can do with your travels. Okay. So it's all about the importance how to travel through the sun. okay, because the sun is at a digital frame of a new number now, okay, and it's coded. Everything is coded. You're coded through identification. Everything is coded. Everything that you see around you is coded, right? So when you get these digital numbers, you got the key. Open up the box, open up the door, right? You just go through. That's it. It's done. It's done. So, yeah, you've done exceptionally well because you've been here 2-3 years, right? And it's great to know that you guys are at that level where you can understand more. So you're going to go faster and faster now. Okay. So because you're lying through 114, it's activating, right? And it's trying to understand what's going on because you're going to higher division. You're going into higher levels of calculation to space. How do you travel faster, right? How to understand more of the sun through digital numbers, how to understand the moon through program setting, and how to understand the soul through identifications, right? Through your perception, right? So it's all about understanding what you see now. There's going to be more and more and more and more, right? So once you come into your atoms, you get a little more faster, more knowledgeable, right? Because you can use atom through location, through dimensional time positions. It's amazing what you can do with the triaxial line conditions. It's incredible, incredible force, right? So you can start with this. So remember, everything's in a box. I don't have to draw out the box because it's already there. So everything's in position. So I put the box, so you know everything through its calculation is nothing but a simulation graph line system. Okay, it's nothing but a graph line system to its calculation. All right, it has to understand its position and what it's doing through location. Start with that, right? So we get into those positions. Okay, we come into calculation. Okay, so this is the connections, high force line system. Once you're sun, your digital line conditions, you come into higher positions of time location, right? So we got 3 wavy lines in one box, right? But it's a box through triangle. So this is a box, okay, to understand what's going on with the pyramids and the triangle line connections, right? So it's all about reading the information through one box to another box, but it's all through one line system of one circle, okay? So once you activate all line connections, it comes into a plasma interference, and that's where it comes into time capacitor. And when you go through time capacitor, you travel through the recognition of time position. So it's all about reading the graph before you go through dimensional time, right? So you come into this box, okay, through one line signal, okay? And then basically, you know, it's all about reading a map, how to understand the map, and then you travel through GPS, right? So this is GPS through its position, right, to its location. It becomes a map location line system to its point center. Okay, it's really fast when you come in these positions of time locations, right? So it's all about AI reading these signals through its rotation center line connections and what you're doing through positions, right? So one box line connections, one box line connection through, right? One box line connection through, right? You know, it's crossing over, right? So it can go into the center line connections and it create dimensional round position, right? And then you go through security line defense. You always have to have security line defense because you're going through the plasma interference, right? Through dimensional time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6-dimensional time, right? So it's amazing how you use this through track line connections, all right? And then you can high force your positions and you understand more your positions of time location. You come into this location center of its division location line system, okay? Because it looks like a machine now, right? Because that's what it is. So it's all about the computer operation line center to its dimension to its graph line system. So once you understand those positions, you come into this waving cycle to its location. What it is through traction. What is this, right? So this goes back in center. This communicates your body graph line conditions and it changes the shape position of 3, 6, and 9 location. Okay, it gets complicated, doesn't it? It's extremely complicated. So it's all about filling everything out around. Once you go, you can understand your positions when you come into your 12 to 12, right? This is understanding when you come into your structural line connections of 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There you go. Right? Looks like a time machine. That's what it is. Right? It's pretty amazing when you read graphs and map locations, right, through AI position and how you can travel through your body graph line system. So your job is to open up all these boxes and fill them all in, right? And then you can travel to anywhere you want through your alignments. Okay? The past, present, and future. So it's knowing what you're doing through alien graph line systems to its map location. Like, what is this through traction? That's where you start off. We don't start with the box, right? But you have to understand what the box is, not just outside, but what's it inside, because it's all connected to its crop circle. You understand what a crop circle is, right? Right? Then you understand the center line conditions. Then you understand the point line center. Everything has to be in position, right? And then the XT1000 comes in location to that location, right? Center lies as center point, okay? It does a solar graph line system to its position, okay? Now, if it wants to change its shape anomaly, it's got to change its track line connections to its dimensional positions. So it opens up its chronological line connections into high positions into the XT1000, and the XT1000 goes into higher line system to another position line connection. Okay, so that's why we use the shapes. We use the shapes to the body graph through its digital frame, through its position. That's how you change everything through location to its ground line system. Okay, that's how we change everything through laser. That's how we change the grounds through vibration. That's how we see everything through the grounds is nothing but numbers, letters, and shapes. It's understand how to put this all in order, right? So it's amazing how you come into this position first, right? And then you go into this position, okay? So it's a lot of fun when you come into those positions, and then you come into this through crop circles, okay? Whole idea is understand how to put everything back in center. Once you put things back in center, your body graph is in position to a higher division location, and you can reach higher levels of wormholes into this position. But see how the center line changes the shape? See how bigger it is, right? Center line here, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So it's knowing how to change your graph line centers, okay? But every time you travel, you're traveling through one line system to one activation to one center line system, which is your compilations of graphing positions through digital of atmospheres of universal line systems. So what's an XD1000? Oh, good. So Joe's communicated through an XD. Okay, so an XD is a flatter surface to an XD line center. Right, there's all different kinds of UFOs, right? So go with this, all right? So it's amazing how we come across different UFO positions, okay? This is an XD1000. Okay, it's all about the shape. This is an XT1000, okay? This is an XR3000, right? See the different line connections? So to understand what's connecting through its solar graph line system to its position locations. Okay? So it's all about size. So it's all about the X and its dimension of 1000. And everything through the X, okay, to its teleportation line connections to 1000. And everything through its graph line system, okay, of the XR 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 8,000, 10,000. So the higher it goes through track line connections, when I say 10,000 line system, okay, 10,000 equals box. Okay, that's the equivalent line connections. Now you come into that. Now this gets complicated, right? You got to get into that point center, 10,000, right? This is where you get into the multiple levels, right? Through metrical line connections. 10,000 equals box, right? To whatever you want through position, okay? So you get 10,000 to anything that you want here. You just have to understand its position to its communication. So it center lines is connected to a center line system to its box, Okay, comes into its box, and this is how it's allocated to dimensional time position from here to here. Okay, so, and you can also do the same thing here, right? It's all about line signaling. Everything has to be line signaled. Okay, see what it's creating? See what it's creating? 3 different dotted line systems of UFO positions of time location. So when you do that through position, you come into this line system to box level connections into that location. Okay. Now, once you got that in its own position, it comes into a triangle line center. See that? See how powerful that is? All communications to all different UFO positions, all through 10,000 equals box. Okay. I'm going to stop there because this is getting complicated. So it's just a higher formation of travel. That's what it means. It's just a higher division. It's a higher dimensional of a UFO. But it's understanding how you take your shapes out of 10,000 equal box into that position. All right? So, and it's truly understanding what you're doing through travel. How it's different intelligence, but it's in 3 box locations into its triangle of its pyramid. Right? Pyramid. Pyramid. See the pyramid? Understanding now how you can do 10,000 equal box into 3 different UFO line centers. Okay, and how it comes into a shape. So structure line connections, and you can change position line connections in the circle line center. So you can get another XT1000 come into line connections into this center location. Remember, it's all in digital box. Okay, so when it comes from there to there, you can change positions, right? When it changes positions, you go into center line connections to that location. Okay, and again, you set up the triangle line connections to its position. Okay, so you understand the operations of the universe and what it is, right? It's all done through letters, numbers, and shapes, but it's amazing how everything comes into a box, right? And again, what do you see? What do you see in calculation? Synergized position locations, you come into high positions of a computer operation of intelligent line system to its allocated position of time location. See the wings? See that? Every way you look at it, it's all intelligence of travel. So every time you change the graph line system, it changes the 10,000 equal box, right? So you can go forward or backwards, but it's amazing how you create these things in universe line system, because everything through the graph line system of universe line systems is nothing but digital, okay, of its connection. It's all about understanding how to graph these position of time locations to bigger round divisions of location. Okay. So now you get an understanding how to use this through teleportation, right? It's fascinating, isn't it? When you come across these things. Shiva. So how's everybody feeling so far? Feeling a little bit more confident now? Feeling a little bit more at ease, more relaxed, you know? I just want to show you how powerful it is when you come across these things. It's very interesting, right? And this is what Tina and Sylvia and Galactica and Ellen are going to learn. Okay? So they become more informative with more illustrations. It gets harder and harder, right? But it becomes more responsibility, more power within their system, because now they're coming more out of the mind and more out of the body and more out of the soul of identification, right? So now you understand everything that's going on, right? With your E equals MC squared, how you stir out the birthing line connections to its navigation, to its earth line system. And great, thank you. That's great. Settled in the chakra system now. So it's all about understanding. Sylvie's in the 114. And she probably thought, well, I didn't think I could do it. Because she started off at the very beginning. we can go back and forth here, but it's amazing how Tina came to me, right? We did a Zoom together, and she was talking about compilations about, oh, well, you know, I've been going through a lot of channels. I'm not finding anything that's resonating with me. I look where she was, but look where she is now, and how much she's advanced and how much she knows. So she's stuck. She basically stayed with me, right? Because she wanted to understand more of herself through the mind, body, and soul. So when you stay with somebody, you become more of who you are, of remembering. And she's at that point right now where she's extremely high in 114 chakras of understanding how to travel through those dimensions of portals and codes, right? So we're all coming into the codes now of perception, what we see. So when I look at a tree, I know exactly what the digital code is. It comes to me, right? And then I place it on the wall. And I do this and I fix it. And then I put it back at the tree, right? Because it's off center. So it's all about understanding how to communicate through higher levels. You know, it's amazing how we do these things. It's like if you have a problem with somebody and basically you're a friending to them. And basically what's happening is that you're communicating with this person and you're trying to help them out. You're trying to get them into understand what you're doing wrong and how you can do things right. So you're helping this person. Well, it's the same thing when you come to that level. Once you reach your high positions of who you are through balance, you can start helping others, right? Because now you're understanding more of the mind, body, and soul. Okay. And that's the birthing line connection that comes into 3, 6, and 9. Okay. You want to understand everything through the universe line system. You have to understand 3, 6, 9 is everything through its key. And once you get the keys to the mind, body, and soul, you are good to go. Right? It takes a long time. So it's really trying to understand what you're doing through your focus, what you're doing through your awareness, what you're doing through your conscious levels, what you're doing through your abundance, what you're doing through your force, what you're doing through your focus. Okay? And everything that you do through surrender. Okay? So, and then we came into Sylvia, where we're also going on Galactic Force Team, and she was having problems with digital numbers that was given to her for the first time after I healed her. So that realized, okay, she's in a high division, but she'd understand her program because she has to understand she's coming from Atlantis. So it's all about getting rid of the past traumas first, and then you bring yourself going forward. So now she's in position to understand more of digital framing. Okay. And everything with Galactica, she was in position trying to understand her cloud interference. She was trying to understand how do you communicate with nature through the sun line centers. She was trying to understand how to communicate through more of her program of her body center. So it's amazing how we come to that line connections. And Ellen is in position already. She's an old soul. Ellen's an old soul because she is on so many calculation modifications of fast forcing. She's understanding more of the drawings, which is equivalently to line connections. She understands more dimensional time through intelligence, right? So everybody's in an equalization of center line connections, right? So we're all in this together. It's just trying to understand how we get into the balance of everything for ourselves, right? And that's how we balance out our life. You know, it's amazing we come into those positions of time. Okay. So Sylvia settled in her chakra systems now, but she's come a long way. Tina's come a long way. Galactica 222 has come a long way. Okay. And Ellen's come a long way. Jill's come a long way. You all are progressing what you want out of life. And that's what it's all about. Same with Stephanie. You know, same with Diane. You know, anybody else coming on? Wheel, right? Trying to understand what's going on, right? So when you understand the test, review, and evaluations, you understand more of yourself through program, right? And that's what it's all about. So just backtracking here, see if I missed any questions. No, I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we're really good. Yeah, we're good. So how's everybody feeling now after doing all that? I don't want to go too far because I can't give you too much. It's what you need to know, not what you need to hear. Okay, so that's the positions that we have to come into. So it's extremely awesome. And see, the reason why I'm giving you this now is because you're 114 of understanding how to use your lights out of travels in dimension of time through the mind, body, and soul. Okay? And it becomes extremely, extremely powerful when you understand these things. Because when you come across these things or anything through intelligence that's trying to take over your form positions and you're trapped in their location, you can come out of the equation to its position. Right? We started off with that, right? So it's understanding how to get out of these box frequency levels that's given to you, right? So you have to understand how AI uses this, okay, to trap anything in line condition. But it's amazing when you come out. When you come out, you start feeling better. You say, well, you're not going to change my program. You're not going to change my E-fields and line system. Okay, so before I go, we're going to set up high position level systems to E-fields, right? Jill wants to understand how to set up an E-field. So where we are through intelligent line system, let's allocate positions here, right? Now we're going to use the red group graphing line connections to its position. Okay, so this is you. This is basically you, right? Now, you have to understand everything through the mind, where you are. Where are you in the mind? Where are you in the body? And where are you in the soul? Okay, once you understand that, it all comes together. See? To a triangle, right? Once you understand that, everything through modifications, energy, to its box line connections, comes into, okay? So it's amazing how we come into this, guys. And there you go. Okay, what is it? All right. Start off as an angel. So you come in, everything that we draw is travel, recognition of time position. The mind has to understand the conception of creation, right? The creative line center. Body has to turn everything through the activation of program setting. And the soul has to identify everything through the mind, body, and soul. That's line signal to its angel rotation line system. So once you come in that positions, you create a ground formation, a power center, and atmosphere positions of time. You create your E-fields. Okay. So when you create an E-field, you have to understand intelligence. Okay. So it's very basic. You have to know where you are through the mind, body, and soul. That's a true understanding. Where are you in your imagination? Where are you in your activation of your body, your program? And where are you in soul identification? So it's truly understand how to use the grounds, the power, and the atmospheres to your E-field. So I just want to put up my E-field line connections and get balanced position to its location. Energy goes in, it's set up. It's that simple. Your intelligence will know exactly what to do through the mind, body, and soul, right? So don't have adaptations of the mind in the past. Don't have the body system going forward, and don't have the soul identification, not sure what's going on. You all have to be in line signal through the chakra location, right? So you can't merge off in any position line conditions, and then you just travel through the magnetic forcing highway of its information line system. Okay, and then you just go through the dimensional of its wormhole. All right, so that's what's going to happen with Tina, Sylvia, Galactica, and Ellen. So they're going to see more. They're going to see more dimensions. They're going to actually see themselves going through. Imagine that, actually going through the tunnel, actually seeing yourself going through the tunnel. And this is what you can see more when you go to higher levels of understanding how to use the shapes, letters, and numbers through its dimension and its portals of its wormholes. Okay? Because I had to start off like that. I went extremely high rise, right? But the more you come out of the spiritual system, the more you understand how to travel, right? Through dimensional time. It's really interesting. We see these things, right? So we all have to start somewhere, but it's very basic how we come into this position. Okay? So hopefully that helps you out, Jill. You get a better formation how to use all this for your systems. So the mind, body, and soul has to be in balance every single day. Then you set up your E-fields. Your mind can't be off wandering in creation. Your body can't be off program setting. And your soul has to be in center of identification of you, which is its grounds. Okay, so we all rock. Yeah. Well, there you go. I'm glad that helped you out, Jill. Just truly understand how to use your intelligence. You don't have to do anything difficult. You don't have to say, oh, box frequency level connections, 12,000 line center to position, open up my field line system. Now that's me. That's not you. So you have different intelligence. Just say, okay, I like open my E-field line connections. That's it. It's done. Gravity's in. Go outside. Right? You're protecting yourself every time you touch something. Always have to put your protection and your E-fields up. And then you're good to go, because your mind is in center, your body's in program, and your soul is identification of travel. Okay? So I'm going to head over to TikTok. You guys have a fantastic day. Adios.